Have you ever loved Mario so much as a child that you wanted to draw your own levels and then try to recreate them in Mario Maker 2 years later? Well, I did exactly that. Hello everyone, I'm ClarusK25 and today I wanted to show you a level that I made back in my youth on paper that I then translated into Mario Maker 2. These paper drawings were inspired by the first Mario game I played, New Super Mario Bros. DS. The paper level is divided into 8 area sections, 7 mini-boss sections, and one final boss section with who knows how many checkpoints. For the purposes of this video, I will streamline everything so that you see each major section combined for the Mario Maker 2 level, rather than going through the paper segments one at a time. The first area is reminiscent of a World 3 castle from New Super Mario Bros. DS, starting with skewers, bridges, and water. This is then followed up by a spike ball section reminiscent of the World 2 castle, followed by an area with 3 thwomps. I then combined these 3 sections together for the first area of my Mario Maker 2 level, the Level of Youth Boss Medley, made back in 2020. To create a challenge where you have to navigate skewers in lava, dodge spike balls, and leap through a thwomp gauntlet to get to the first mini-boss section. If you manage to survive the area with a mushroom, you can get a progressive fire flower for the mini-boss. The first mini-boss of the level is not even a close mirror of the first 6 mini-bosses in my paper version. Those 6 mini-bosses were either a humongous silly bad guy, which you had to drop into a pit by activating a red switch similar to how you faced Bowser in the World 1 castle from New Super Mario Bros. DS, or one of 3 laser sword wielders in Team Silly Bad Guy, who, by the way, were the villains that my character had to face in the paper game. Those 3 wielders are Commander Mercury, Commander Venus, and Boss Jajak. Oh, and a silly bad guy is a creature I created armed with 2 laser swords and has a wall between its eyes. All 6 of these battles were quickly replaced with a single one with Mario vs. 2 Koopalings, a tag team of Larry and Roy on top of moving platforms hovering over spikes. I deliberately put Larry in a trickier position since only Larry has the key, but more likely than not, you want to dispatch Roy on sight so you have less interference. That said, you can skip facing Roy by taking out Larry first. After entering the key door, you receive a checkpoint and enter the next segment of the boss medley, which notably does not match my paper drawings, which consisted of boring one-area segments where you face a bunch of foes you'd probably only see in Star Wars. The final product of this area involved using a Magic Koopa to open the way forward, then dodge a million skewers below before entering the pipe that leads to your second mini-boss. The second mini-boss is actually a double boss attempting to mirror the battle against Camilla in Super Mario Galaxy's Deep Dark Galaxy, where you first face Camilla on the ground to deal 2 hits with shells she creates, then move up to the crow's nest to finish her off with 2 more shells she creates, while dodging the projectiles of both her and her Magic Koopa lackeys. This did not pan out very well, as the best replica I could make for Camilla was a big Magic Koopa that dies in 1 hit to anything, including a jump or fire flower, meaning the green shells I give you are completely useless. After beating the first room, you then fight on the crow's nest, where the intended strat was to throw a Koopa shell into the crow's nest to beat another big Magic Koopa and get the key. However, you can also easily kill the big Magic Koopa by waiting for it to warp next to you and simply jump on it. After this double battle, you get a checkpoint, whereas in the paper game, the airship lands and it takes an entire extra room before I give you a checkpoint, which in retrospect was pretty cruel for the paper game, considering that in most traditional Mario games, the checkpoint is never directly next to the boss, so you have to redo an entire section to rematch any boss. This final segment of the castle before the final boss is inspired by 2 paper drawings, one of which is leaping over bullet bills and the other one consisting of moving conveyors with a progressive power-up over the top conveyor. I then translated this segment into an area where you have to dodge homing bullet bills, several lava bubbles, and an area where you get a star to boost yourself into another conveyor section filled with spike ground. If you're able to stay on the conveyors without falling rightward, you can grab a guaranteed fire flower in preparation for the final boss. The final boss in the paper game consisted of 3 segments, the first of which involved you fighting the leader of Team Silly Bad Guy, ST, along with his 2 Silly Bad Guy lackeys. The second involves you fighting the entirety of Team Silly Bad Guy, commanders, boss, and leader, with the commanders and boss needing 2 hits to die, while ST needs 4 hits to die. After this, you fight the mysterious creature known as Witch the Great. As for how I turned all this into a final boss for my Mario Maker level, Yes, you guessed correctly. I turned the boss fight of this level into complete hot garbage. A war against 5 Koopalings, one of which is a giant Ludwig that hugs the top of the screen as much as he can, with Morton all too often joining him to make life miserable. Because who doesn't love fighting Koopalings? And I'm nice enough to even give you 2 fire flowers to keep you going. However, spoiler alert! I later realized that this boss fight can be cheesed by simply targeting the big Ludwig first and getting the key, which I discovered upon giving this level to a streamer and watching them cheese the battle with ease. So feel free to do the same if you had enough of this fight, or simply want the satisfaction of cheesing the level, because I will not be redoing this clear check for my life. After you enter the final key door, the level is done. Congratulations! Thank you all for watching this video. If any of you want to play this level, I'll link the level code here as well as in the description below. Hope you all enjoyed this, and before we end, I feel it's only fitting to show the level in its entirety. So for those who want to see my full playthrough, watch on!